Good morning, everybody, and happy Monday. Welcome back to another live with me, Asia Nasir, founder and nonprofit strategist of my consulting firm, Utopian Enterprise Business Solutions, and author of my book that you see here, Nonprofit Doesn't Mean No Profit, where you can find on Amazon. So again, welcome to another live here with me. So for those of you that are brand new to this channel, brand new to either my Facebook page or LinkedIn, wherever you're tuning into, I just want to reintroduce myself. As I mentioned before, my name is Asia Nasir, and I run a boutique, what I call a boutique consulting firm specific to nonprofit founders and executive directors that no matter where you are, whether you're just starting, whether you're in the middle and the thick of it, or you're in your advanced stages of running a nonprofit organization, that's what I'm here for, to assist you in being able to fulfill your missions in real time. So one of the ways in which I do that is I come on every other Monday to do lives, just to give you some information, some good strategies to be able to help you do that and live and fulfill your missions in real time on different things, different topics and strategies to really help you hone in on making your nonprofit sustainable, visible, and impactful, more importantly. So this week is no different. I'm going to get right into this week's topic, which is, I think, extremely important for nonprofits, no matter what stage you are in your journey in this nonprofit sector. And that's the importance of creating your business plan for your nonprofit. So we hear a lot of times, for-profit businesses, they create a business plan, what's their plan for 1 year, 5 year, that kind of stuff. We hear it all the time. However, we don't hear much of it when it comes to the nonprofit world. We don't hear a lot of nonprofits emphasizing the importance of doing that. So there are two ways in which you can do it, or two ways of thoughts, actually creating a business plan, or what I say is creating your business plan at your annual strategic meeting. So if you're not familiar with what an annual strategic meeting is, then more than likely you're not creating a business plan as well. Your annual strategic meeting is where you and your team actually come up with strategies every year of assessing where you are, how you did the previous year, and where you want to go, and improvements, in what areas can you improve. That's your annual strategic meeting, meaning very strategic about what your plan is for the next year. Well, having a business plan assists you in being able to navigate that. So it's kind of like one and the same, but nonetheless, it is something that your nonprofit should be doing, which is creating some type of strategic plan. And I know we've all heard that term. If you don't plan, you plan to fail. And that is so true. I could not agree with that statement more. So let's get into those 5 strategies of first and foremost of why it's so important for your nonprofit to be able to or why your nonprofit should have a business plan in place every single year, as well as, and what does it do for you when you create a business plan. So without further ado, let's get right into it. So the first strategy is the importance of having a business plan. For one, is it allows you to define your mission and your vision. A lot of nonprofit founders, myself, I'm a nonprofit, founder and executive director of my own, a nonprofit organization called Jessica Cares. And we all do. We all start. I think every founder starts a nonprofit with this passion. It's all heart. It's something that we see a void that's happening in our community. And we feel that we can, assist along with a team of people and partners to be able to eradicate that void that we see, or decrease it, significantly. Like, that's the goal, and it's all heart and it's all passion, and we go with everything that we have, right? But a lot of times, a lot of nonprofit founders and executive directors, because they're new to this industry, they go into it without focus. It's all passion, all heart, and there's not really a defined focus on how to achieve those things, and how to eradicate, and how to decrease the percentage of whatever it is that you're seeing wrong in your community. So with a business plan, it really helps you to anchor that passion. You know what I mean? It's, you have to have passion to run a nonprofit. You have to, but it can't just be passion. It can't just be all heart. It also has to come with strategy. And a business plan anchors that passion, and it allows you to be able to define your mission, you know, to be able to articulate your vision for your organization and give it a blueprint, give it a roadmap as to how you plan on achieving that. Right. It really helps you to be able to define. I don't know if you've heard someone talk about their mission or what is your organization about, and it goes on and on and on, and you don't have a clear vision of what they do. You don't have a clear understanding of what the impact is. What's the end goal? Like, what are you trying to accomplish with this nonprofit? It's just a lot of talk, but not really saying much. Well, a business plan allows you, because now you have a strategic plan, you have a strategy in place in order to be able to define that mission and that vision. How do you plan on achieving that? How do you plan on eradicating that? How do you know, being able to articulate what the issue is and how your organization plans to be the conduit to assisting in eradicating or reducing that problem in your community. So having a business plan really helps you to define those key points. So when you are speaking to someone who has the potential to assist you in any way, you are able to have a clear blueprint that you can share and articulate and discuss with clarity, because of your business plan. Because your business plan encompasses everything as far as what your organization stands for and how do you plan on, or doing that. And that way the people that you're speaking to can see where they can fit in being able to assist you in doing that. So having a business plan helps. So if you struggle with, wow, I'm that person that when they ask me, what's your mission or what does your organization do, I'm kind of like all over the place. Having a business plan is going to hone that in for you, because you have to do your due diligence in being able to articulate those different things. And so it helps you then to be able to articulate it much better when you're asked that question. And that makes a difference, because first impressions are lasting. So you being able to share and discuss, what your organization does is really going to help a funder or a supporter be able to see where they can actually assist you and help you and maybe even partner with you in doing so. Right? So that's strategy number one. That's why it's so important. Number two is, it, as I mentioned before, it creates a roadmap for sustainability. See, a lot of times nonprofits, especially grassroots nonprofits, they really function off of funding by funding. Like, your organization runs as long as it has this, and so we'll plan for this money coming in, but there's no plan in place. There's no roadmap to sustainability, meaning longevity. Right? And that's why sometimes you'll see a nonprofit here today, gone tomorrow, because they did not have a roadmap as to how we're going to last 5, 10, 20 years from now. Right? So your business plan creates literally a step-by-step guide to your growth plan. How do you plan on growing as an organization? That's where I was talking about your annual strategic meeting helps you and your entire team to be able to see where you were, what deficiencies you had, how you can do better. Your business plan allows you to outline that step-by-step growth plan. What is your plan for your volunteers? How do you plan to grow your volunteers? How do you plan to achieve maybe a more effective board of directors? How do you plan on partnering with other organizations or corporate funders or whoever it is that you want to partner with, that's going to give you more visibility, give you, what it is that you're looking for to grow your organization, so that way it's lasting. What grants are we looking for? Are we looking for the one and dones? Or are we looking for those grant funders that you can possibly get, funded for 2-3 years out? So is that the type of relationships? How do we grow and nurture that relationship with this funder? So having a step-by-step plan and being able to do that, you're able to see where you're deficient, where you need to put your priorities, what needs to have more emphasis on, what are you lacking in, what went well that we can take to another level. This gives you a roadmap to growth. what your growth plan is, not just existing, but how to that vision. So people have they're like, what's the difference between a mission and a vision? Your mission is what it is that you're doing. What is it that you're all about? The mission is to eradicate some ill, something that's not going well in the community. What is that thing? What is it in your community that's not going well? What is it in your country, or whatever it is that you're looking to tackle? What is it that's not going well what's your mission in being able to make that better? Right? That's what your mission is. A who, what, where, and why. Who are you? What do you know, who do you assist? What do you do in order to do that? The why behind it, where sometimes demographically that might be in your mission statement. That's the what are we about? So people know when I'm donating, what is this organization doing with my money? Right? That's the mission. The vision is very different. That's the longevity. That's the longevity of your organization. What does your organization wish to do as far as its vision? What is the ultimate goal here? And we know when you have a vision, that's not something that happens overnight. That's something that is long term. So this gives you a blueprint to getting to that, that longevity, that end result, that end goal that you're striving for, right? So this is going to, that roadmap allows you to work the plan, work that, it's not going to happen overnight. So how do we work this week by week, month by month, year by year? That gives you a step by step, and in everything from the executive team to your volunteers to your programs, to your fundraising efforts, all of that. It encompasses all of those buckets that fall into running a nonprofit. Your staffing. Do you plan on having staff, at some point? And how do we do that? How do we get funding and things, like I said, that's going to last you not just for a program, but to anchor you and put you in a position where you're going to be able to do this for a long time. So, being able to find different funding streams and things like that, that's the roadmap. That's the blueprint to helping you to become sustainable. So that's why it's really important to have a business plan, because it allows you to be able to do that. And here's the thing. I want you to keep this in mind if you don't take anything else. Grant funders, corporate donors, things like that. Funders don't invest in good intentions. Every person, or we would hope to think, every person who starts a nonprofit has good intentions. They have good intentions for their community. They have good intentions for their nonprofit. They have good intentions about what they want to do to make change. But that's not what funders invest their money on, is good intentions. Everybody has great intentions and starting something, However, what they do fund and what they do invest in is sustainability. They don't want to be that my grant or my donation is what's holding this nonprofit together. No one wants to invest in a business, because that shows that you're not sustainable. But for the fact that you get this grant, you wouldn't have programs, you wouldn't have services. So you being able to have a blueprint and a roadmap as to how you're going to have multiple streaming sources, who's going to be, who's going to do that, that's going to be able to assist you in being able to approach. And what my next strategy is, which is attracting funders with confidence. Being able to include a funding, model, which would include grants, fundraisers, maybe earned donations, individual campaigns, different things like that. A lot of nonprofits, especially when they first get started, they get that 501c3 and they're like, all right, it's Grant City. No. And I think anyone who's been around for a long time understands that those first 2 years, you're probably not going to get much grants, if any. Especially that first year. It's going to be really feet to the street, asking individual donations, creating campaigns, fundraisers, partnering with, corporate sponsors to be able to fund your programs, and growing and nurturing that relationship, right? Funders want to see that where their funding fits into what you already have, right? They see something that's working. They see something that, wow, they're doing it so impactfully on this level, right? From the money that they've got, wow, this program has really made change, has really made an impact in the community. Imagine if I was to invest in this nonprofit, how many more people can they help? right? How many more people can I help with investing in this nonprofit by donating and giving them this grant? That's what they want. They want to be able to see the long-term strategy of them being able to donate. So what you have to do is learn how to become impactful with small, so that way when you are reaching out to those funders wanting to serve more and give more and do more for your community, here is where they can now, see where their funding is going to just take your organization to the next level, not be the all and be all. And this is where you can go and you can attract these funders with confidence, because you're having a blueprint of your growth plan. So you can see from where you started, right? Your organizational overview. This is where we started. Here's where we are now. This is what we're doing. Here's the impact that we've made already. Here's the inch. Here's the yard that we've already made. Here's the dent that we've already made in our community in turning this whole thing around. Excuse me, right? So that's what grant funders want to see. That's what funders, donors, that's what they want to see. They want to be able to see where their money's going to fit in to expand on what you're doing, not create what you're wanting to do, right? That's not what you want. So being able to attract funders and say, look, with the money that we've earned from beginning to now, we've been able to make this impact. We've been able to make this type of change. And your money is just going to be able to help us take it to a deeper level. Our reach be even larger than what it already is. That's what they want to hear. And being able to show your growth plan, with this funding, this is where we plan to grow. This is what we plan to do as far as longevity. This is what's going to be able to help us sustain this program that's so impactful for the next 2-3 years or whatever, right? This is where they see longevity. This is where you're planning for the future and being able to showcase that to someone that could be a potential donor, right? So managing your impact is going to be extremely important, not just activity. We're doing this, we're doing that. No, it's not just about that. It's the impact, managing that, and then being able to utilize resources that's going to help you. Maybe there's a CRM program, maybe there's a system, a program in place to be able to help you monitor that data more carefully. And that might be something that you want to earn money, raise money for. So that way you can be more impactful to your community. So that way you can streamline what's already working, but making it even better. Right. So that's reason number 3. Reason number 4 of why it is important to create a business plan for your nonprofit is that this also helps you to align your team and your board, right? A lot of times, especially grassroots nonprofits, the expectation has not been set very clearly for your board of directors. So they'll come in and they really don't know what their role is and what their responsibility is in that nonprofit. They have all of these talents, but you're not showcasing these talents. And so you'll find turnover, people leaving, people not coming to meetings and being engaged in your meetings, is because they really have no role and they really don't know what their role is. So when you have a business plan, part of your business plan is assigning responsibility to the activities that you have on your board. On your business plan. So you have, what are your goals? What are you looking to accomplish in the next year? Or what are you looking to accomplish in the next 5 years? Whatever your business plan goals are or for the duration. Is it a year plan? Is it a 5-year plan? When you do that, when you have those different goals and you have 1, 2, 3, 4, and whatever it is, now you have to assign who's responsible for this. Is this the executive director responsible for this role? Is this the board president? Is this the, whoever? Is this the board members? Now they know, as far as like creating committees and things like that, who's going to run these committees? Who's going to be the chairperson for these different committees that can really help us to build strategy and grow? So this is where now the board of directors and your team, your volunteers and things like that, now they know what role they play. And this allows you as the executive director or, the founder to be able to have what's called accountability checkpoints. If you're responsible for this or you're responsible for that, and everyone has an understanding of what that role is and what the expectation is and when the deadline is, now you can have some checkpoints and check in. How's this going? Are we making progress in this? Are you struggling in any area? Are you finding some hiccup somewhere? And now you can discuss it versus waiting and for someone to do it and no one steps up to the plate. This now assigns responsibilities to different people on the board or your volunteer team. So that way now everyone knows what their role is, their contribution to the mission and contributing to the mission. I often ask my clients all the time, what is the role of your board of directors? And they say, to assist with the mission. Okay, so what does that look like? Coming to meetings, I don't know, showing up to events. So if you can't articulate a role, speaking to me as your consultant, right? You're a nonprofit strategist. How are you articulating that to your board of directors? They don't know what their roles are. Therefore, there's no accountability. So they're having their own idea and forming their own idea of what their role is, which may or may not be engaging to them, which is why they leave. You're having an expectation of that, but you haven't clearly set that for them. So now they don't know what their roles are. So you're getting frustrated and feeling like they're not fulfilling their role when in fact you haven't articulated it to them and gave that clarity to them. A business plan gives clarity because it actually assigns this is what this particular goal is and you're responsible for it. You're responsible, and here are some accountability checkpoints. We're going to meet up, we're going to talk, we're going to see where we're at, and if we're closer, if we need to tweak some things, if I need to step in and assist in any way, or we need to get someone to assist you in some way, this is going to be able to help them to be able to do that. So, it's like your internal compass, so to speak. It's like your internal compass to be able to see where you are, direction, and everybody having direction and what they're doing. It reduces confusion for your nonprofit board because now they can actually, no one's stepping on anyone's toes. No one's expecting something that they shouldn't. Everyone knows what their roles, and it empowers your team. When your team feels empowered, they're not wanting to miss meetings. They're wanting to engage in your board meetings and give feedback and so forth because they're contributing. They're playing an active role and they know what their role is and they know the impact of that role if it's not being fulfilled, right? So now you don't have that turnover. You don't have people not coming to meetings and things like that and slowing your mission down and fulfilling your vision. So business plans really help in being able to clarify that. And last but not least, this helps you to measure what matters, right? How do you differentiate yourself? So what I love to do is like a SWOT analysis. Anytime I do my business plan, I do a SWOT analysis. This lets me know what my strengths are. This lets me know what our weaknesses are. So there needs to be a priority in that. This also lets us know what threats are out there. What threats are out there and what opportunities do we have as an organization? So now we're able to manage what and measure what matters. And see, you can't manage what you don't measure. You can't manage what you don't measure. So this allows you to track outcomes. So if you know this is a weakness and you're putting some priority into it and saying, okay, look, we had a lot of activities, but we didn't have a lot of impact. Now maybe that's a priority. So now you can track the outcomes. These programs, what were the outcomes of these programs? What were the outcomes of these services that we provided? What impact, what change did we make? What did we decrease as far as, what's happening or, in the community, right? Not just having activities, but actually measuring the outcome, demonstrating the impact that you made to funders, right? How were you able to turn this weakness into a strength? How were you able to turn this opportunity to eradicate a weakness in your organization, right? How are you able to tackle this threat? Now you can actually do that. Now you can actually have those conversations with your funders and say, you know what, we've been able to measure, this is what matters, this is what's been happening. And when, funders will ask you, well, how can I assist you? In what areas do you feel you need the biggest help? Now this is going to be able to help you measure where that is, where you need your actual help and the good that you've already done and how they can assist you in doing more. Again, you can't manage what you don't measure. And that SWOT analysis allows you to do that, assigning people to roles to be able to contribute to changing that, and working internally to be in your internal infrastructure, being impactful and contributing on all levels. Everybody's playing their role. This helps you to be able to sustain, to keep your organization sustainable, and it allows you to be able to, focus on what's most important. And that's just not having a lot of activities, but having impact, right? That's the thing. And grant funders, if you're a grant writer, even if you're a grant writer, that's what you want to write about. It's not just the activity. The grant funders want to hear, out of these activities that you did, what was the impact? How did this impact your community? Those testimonies, those stories, those success stories, the change, the transformation, all of those things. That's what's most important. Out of those 20 people who participated in your program, out of those 100 people who were able to receive from your services, what change has it had in their life? And if it hasn't had any, that's where you need to measure. That's where you need to go back. And now you need to maybe assign people and say, look, we need to focus on this and we need to do better in this area, or whatever, your organization. So having that internal compass, like a business plan, is going to be able to help you nip things in the bud, help you see where you're doing, not at the end of the year, but throughout the year. Because again, we're talking about accountability and those accountability checkups, knowing who's responsible for what. So that way, if it's not working, we can tweak it midterm in order for the end result to actually be successful. So that's why it's extremely important for nonprofits. It's going to impact you being able to be sustainable and you to be able to receive funding. So if you're putting out grants and you're not getting it, that could be why, is because you don't have a clear roadmap as to how you plan on being sustainable and how impactful you've been thus far, who's responsible for what, and being able to show that your organization, although it may not be where it wants, where you are, you're a well-oiled machine working to get better, do better, and serve more, right? So that is what I wanted to share with you today. So those were the 5 reasons that I gave as to why it's important. This is something you should be sitting with your board and saying, hey, if we haven't created a business plan already, maybe we should. And it's not even maybe, we need to. We need to create a business plan for your nonprofit. And if you struggle with that and you're not sure how to go about doing that, that's what I'm here for. As I mentioned before, I am a nonprofit strategist that can assist you in being able to achieve those goals and helping you do that. So I'm going to put here in the comments my email address. So that way you can reach out to me if you would like to be able to, reach out to me and have me assist your nonprofit organization in creating your business plan. What's important? What are your strengths, weaknesses, opportunities, and help guide you in that in order for you to be impactful and successful in you moving forward and becoming just not an organization that wants to do good, but actually doing good. And that's why I said that's what my job is, to help you fulfill your missions in real time. So if you have any questions, you can reach out in my email address, or you can visit my website to see the different services that we have. That is where you can find me and the services that I provide. And that's what I do here. And those are the strategies. Again, if you see that your organization can benefit from any of these things, please reach out. Please reach out to me. Please reach out to someone who you know can benefit from what you've heard. If you're sitting on a board and you're like, oh, we need to hear this, share this, tag this with someone. And if you like the information that you heard, hit the like button so that way it can grow in the algorithms for when people are searching for information like this. This video will be top of the list. So support me and pay it forward for yourself and help us grow our nonprofit community and being able to be impactful and fulfill our missions in real time in our individual communities. So I'll be seeing you in a couple of weeks for another important live for you nonprofit founders and executive directors. See you soon.